This episode is sponsored by Fairfax Football Academy, the best QB training and development in all of Northern Virginia. Follow on Instagram at Fairfax Football Academy. You'll be happy that you did. Welcome back to All Hitches, Nova's #1 football podcast. Coach Mesa, how are you doing, buddy?
Doing well. I'm doing well. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, aren't we? I mean, it's.
Oh man, it's 85 degrees outside, and it's almost November. Let's go, buddy. Let's go.
I am a little depressed though. I had to watch my SC Trojans come down to Maryland and blow another game. We should have beat Penn State. We had a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter against Maryland. I know all you Maryland fans are super happy. Ooh.
Not just Maryland fans, buddy. You were on a Nova podcast, my friend. That was one Billy Edwards, Nova's own Billy Edwards.
Was my first year here. He was a quarterback in Braddock my first year here.
That's right. That's right. So you better recognize, buddy.
Yeah.
You ain't in Long Beach anymore. You ain't in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. You're in Nova now, buddy.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
That's big. It's a big loss for you guys, and it's a big win for Maryland.
Yeah, I remember when I was in New Mexico, Coach Loxley was the head coach at UNM.
Yeah, man. Well, maybe they'll bring back. I don't know. Maybe bring back Lane Kiffin or something.
Yeah. Why don't you bring back Lane Kiffin?
That's a good one, actually. We should. At this point, I'd take Norvell Turner. Okay, buddy. I would take Mike White. I would take Joe Bugle.
Joe Bugle.
I would take Art Shell 3.0.
I was just gonna say Joe Bugle. I wonder if there's a lot of Joe Bugle fans listening to this podcast.
I mean, old school Skins fans. Joe Bugle.
Where does his kid go? Oakton?
No, you're thinking of Norvell, Turner, North Turner.
Oh, I thought Joe Bugle's kids went to school out here too.
I mean, it very well could have because he was, a Washingtonian, but living here with the Hogs all those years. But like I know Joe Jacoby's kids grew up in the Mantua area. I know the old center, Bostic's kids grew up in the Vienna area, yeah. And then Turner's kids, Oakton kids.
Oh, okay. And I learned from you, Big John Stud.
Lake Braddock.
He was a Braddock Bruin, huh?
Yeah, his son went to Braddock. Yeah, son went to Braddock, but he lived in that area. There used to be a it's not there anymore actually. Rest in peace to Angies over in Twinbrook Shopping Center. But you go into Angies, on the wall they have a big picture of Big John Stud. It's his favorite gyro in Nova.
Really?
Oh. And if Big John Stud likes a gyro, it's a damn good gyro.
Kid was a football player, big kid.
He had to have been a kind of medium-sized stud, right? Not as big as his dad. His dad was a big son of a gun. He was in, remember Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, actually. He was the bodyguard in that.
Was he really?
Yeah, that's a good movie. You ever seen that?
You know that Andre the Giant beat the crap out of Big John Stud in the ring because he was so mad that Big John Stud started doing the step over the top rope thing. And he was
it's only...
That's my thing.
There's only one giant in the world of wrestling.
Yeah, and he proceeded to just beat him up during a wrestling match.
Yeah, well, I was a big Andre the Giant fan. Even bigger Big John Stud fan. Love Big John Stud. But I got something for you.
Okay.
Andre the Giant was big. Giant. Big John Stud was big. But there might be nothing bigger. Nothing bigger than the Fab Five that we have selected today, my friend.
It is. It might. Is it more? Is the Fab Five a Big John Stud Andre the Giant match, or is it a Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant match at WrestleMania 3?
It might be the Hulk Hogan Mr. Wonderful match that never happened in WrestleMania 2. It was supposed to happen in WrestleMania 2. It never happened.
Yeah.
After the steel cage match, we never got it. We never got the match we all deserved as kids. But I'll tell you what, this Fab Five, we talked about it. There's a premier matchup on top, and great matchups all the way down.
Yeah, a lot of big games, right? I mean, we're getting down to must-win games. We're starting to get games where like, oh man, you lose this game, and you might be turning in your equipment Saturday morning on November 6th.
Well, I mean, to paraphrase Jerry Seinfeld, there's nothing finer than watching week niner. All right. I mean, this is going to be a good week of football, week 9.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so let's get into it, and let's go to the top here. This is East versus West, man against man. This is superpower versus superpower. No, I'm not talking about Rocky IV and Drago versus Rocky. I'm talking about Riverdale Baptist, Hayfield.
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
So this is probably going to be, it might be the best collection of talent that Hayfield faces all year. Riverdale Baptist, I believe, is undefeated. I don't know. Being a California guy, I'm learning about Virginia football. So that means I really know nothing about Maryland football. So I was trying to research because I heard they had a bunch of really good players. They're again undefeated. I found a list. They have somebody listed off at least 16 kids who came in, 13 of which they're former DeMatha, St. John's, and Wise players. 13 of which are Division I signees.
Wow.
10 of which are Power Five signees.
Wow.
I mean, just that collection of talent alone. Just looking, they have a receiver corner who has offers from Michigan State, Oregon, Tennessee, Maryland, South Carolina, West Virginia, Syracuse, Virginia Tech.
Wow.
They have another wide receiver, 6'3" and 191, Jaden Kitchens. That's a big kid. Holy smokes. South Carolina, Wisconsin, Boston College, Tennessee, Oregon, Pitt, Syracuse, Maryland, and Minnesota. One thing I did notice, a lot of these guys are close to home guys, and I don't see a lot of Virginia offers, which is weird. But I think that's a conversation to have for another day, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Another one. Third wide receiver with Maryland commit, but also offers from Central Florida, Cal, and Virginia Tech.
There you
go. Offers from East Carolina, Temple, Memphis, Boston College. Then they have 3 defensive linemen, all with Power 5 offers. Then they have. I'm sorry, I take that back. They have 6 defensive linemen.
6
with Power 5 offers.
Wow.
My guess is that they probably play some backer because some of these guys are, but yeah. And then they have another offensive lineman. And I did look up. I think 24/7 has him listed as the best offensive lineman in Maryland in their recruiting class. 6'5", 315. Offers from Colorado, Florida, Georgia Tech, Maryland, Miami, Michigan, Ohio State, and Texas A&M. So, all that being said, this team's pretty talented.
Yeah, that's imposing.
Yeah, but I think smart on Coach Overton to take this kind of game as he gets closer to the playoffs. No disrespect to the teams in the national. The national teams work hard. They're all getting better. They're improving week by week. But Coach Overton needs to go ahead and face Juggernaut, and he went and found one.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the rankings right now, Washington Post has this one at I think Washington Post has Riverdale Baptist as the 3 team, if I'm not mistaken. I saw it the other day, and they have I think Hayfield at 4 or 5. Yeah. So at least, and that's DMV, all of DMV. I mean, that's huge. This is the battle. This is the game of the year, right? In terms of DMV, yeah. and someone wrote us recently, and they were talking, and they said, "Well, this is the biggest game in Nova." Well, I mean, it's being played in Nova, but it's not 2 Nova teams. It's Hayfield representing Nova. It's Virginia versus Maryland, yeah. And I love that. I think it's fun. It's fun when you see state versus state, these kind of matchups. Private school versus public school, all that. I love these kind of matchups. And it's not going to have national eyes on it per se. I think you're the one who asked me if last week if any of these teams were nationally ranked, and they're not, at least not top 20. But it's pretty darn close to being a national matchup. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Well, and I think I kid with the Hayfield coaches about stretching out and going to play.
Yeah.
But I think it does mean something if you want to be the standard bearer for your state.
Yeah.
If you want to be the standard bearer for your state, then you need to represent all of us, the teams that hate you, the teams that love you, people love you, people hate you. But I think sometimes it falls on your shoulders that you've got to go out and represent the state against all comers. I'm California biased, and I have zero problems, saying that. But for years, it was Concord de la Salle for us, and they would go on and they would take 2 national games a year and take your best team and say, okay, we'll play you. And now the standard bearers for California now are St. John Bosco and Mater Dei. And what do? They go to your state, and they play your best team.
Yeah.
To kind of show what their brand of football is all about. And I think that Coach Overton and his program is you could argue 2 times state defending 6A state champs. They're the standard bearer. Like it or not, what is I think it's Shakespeare, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah.
And right now you're wearing the crown, and so it's heavy, and you bear that responsibility. That's just my opinion. Some other people could.
I mean, that's that, and you're going Shakespeare. You're going Shakespeare. I'm a man of the people. Okay, you go Shakespeare. I'm gonna go Ivan Reitman. All right, I'm gonna go Rocky. Maybe I'll go Rocky. It's a Nova podcast. We're Virginia guys, right? I mean, I know you weren't born in Virginia, but you're on a Virginia show right now. You host a Virginia show. You're a Virginia guy right now, buddy. And so I'm pulling for the Virginia team in this.
Yeah.
I think we all are.
That's what it should be, though. When a team in your state goes to another state,
100%.
I'll tell you right now, I hate Mater Dei. I cannot stand those guys.
Great example. It's a great example.
But when they go out of state, guess what?
Yes.
Go Mater Dei. I
mean, if right about now, for some people, I mean, if Hayfield could pull this game off, and I'm rooting for him. Overton wrapped in the Virginia State flag, and he'll look around the stadium and he'll say, if I can change, you can change. We can all change, right? A little ode to Rocky IV. There's my line right there. That's a Rocky IV line. And I'm telling you, and maybe everyone will clap. Even though he's at home, though, he's not going to Russia to play this game. He'll be at home in the friendly confines at Hayfield. But now, what I want to see all these great matchups. We're going to see, I don't know, have they committed yet? Those corners? You said they had a million off.
Right now, looking at it, as of this one, which was early in the summer, they were not. But no, we're going to see. And we're
going to see this corner who might be going to I think you said Miami. You do like 10 schools at me.
Yeah.
Versus a Clemson wide receiver. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. We're going to watch French. Who knows?
This guy had most of his offers. East Carolina, Boston College is his biggest one. That's an ACC school, right? So we're going to see ACC live and in color.
That's great stuff. I mean, we're going to see this line trying to stop. There might be a future. I know you said Tech a couple times.
Yeah.
And some of the schools, a couple Tech linemen maybe trying to tackle a future Tech running back. Yeah. I mean, we're going to be seeing some fun matchups.
Right. Yeah. No, this will be exciting.
And live and in living color, as you always say. Yeah. You're all Hitches hosts. Well, we'll probably be there, and it's going to be a good time. We'll be live tweeting the action.
Yeah,
trying to get some videos.
There, say hello. Don't be intimidated. We're not. We won't blow you off. We won't.
We're men of the people. We are men of the people.
We are men of the people.
Tell us
you hate the show. Tell us something.
I always love going to Hayfield. There's a couple of schools I like going to. Hayfield's one of them. There's Roy Rogers right nearby. I'm a big Roy Rogers guy at heart. You know that. Little holster of fries, man. Love a little holster of fries.
You know what I'd like to see at Hayfield? And I'm throwing this out there, and I'm sure we won't get it. I'd like to see somebody go WWE style and have a post that says "All Hitches Podcast" and hold it up for the stands.
Could you imagine?
Oh, so I know you have a bucket list. If we were to get that, I think at that point I would. I might shed a tear. Just one.
Maybe it says like All Hitches 316, the bottom of
it. Sure.
But again, game of the year in the DMV. Haven't talked to Chad Ricardo yet about it. I'm going to send him a message after this, and I'm curious if he's going to it. I'm curious, a bunch of news agents will probably be there. This is the game of the year in the DMV.
Yeah, yeah. This is the best cross-state matchup between the two.
For sure.
Actually, between any state, right? From what I understand, and maybe down south, maybe they have something with the North Carolina school, something like that we don't know about.
Right.
But I think this is the only really big cross-state. I know there's some big Christian school, Life Christian like that might play a national schedule. But as far as we know, this is the biggest cross-state game of the year.
Yeah. I mean, this is, we'll go back to our original take. This is Big John Studd versus Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, as heavy as it gets, heavyweights as it gets right here.
It is.
All right, man. Well, I can't wait for that one. Like I said, we'll be there live and in living color. All right. Game 2 of the Fab Five this week. It's no slouch, buddy. It is no slouch. Hot. West Springfield versus Lake Braddock, who just coming off a bye week.
Yeah. So, West Springfield has been struggling a little bit this year. I mean, I'm sure this is not the season that they had predicted, but they have a chance to really right the ship and possibly be in line for a district championship if they're able to knock off Lake Braddock.
Yeah.
While they have 2 losses, and that's going to put them behind the 8 ball, this can bring them with the game of Lake Braddock. If they can beat them, then all they need is Lake Braddock to drop one more game, and all of a sudden they're looking at a district championship. Because they play both Lake Braddock and Fairfax. If they can knock them both off, and then somebody else can knock off Lake Braddock. Lake Braddock has a tough game the next week against South County. Yeah. South County wins that game, and all of a sudden now you're looking at a possible district championship for West Springfield, or at least a share of it. Because South County, I take that back. If they knock off Lake Braddock, you could see a mess at the top of the Patriot.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be a total mess.
Yeah.
And
not in a bad way. I'm not trying to say it'll be
no,
bad.
no. But I'm like a kind of a tiebreakers and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it'll be fun.
The last week of the season, where you're like, who's going to win the district championship? Who knows? That being said, if Braddock can beat West Springfield, they've got a really good chance of winning the whole thing.
I mean, Braddock controls her destiny.
Yes. As
of right now. So it's a big game in that regard. West Springfield's still fighting for a top playoff seed.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I think I said a minute ago, Braddock was coming off a bye week. That was 2 weeks ago. But I think Braddock played AC last week, just to correct myself there. Yeah. But I think West Springfield, they are so hot right now. Finally coming on. This is the West Springfield team that early in the year that we envisioned.
Right.
And I know they've made some tweaks, they've and the necessary adjustments they've had to make, and here and there. But whatever they're doing, whatever they've done, I mean, it's working. It is working.
Yeah. It looks like they changed up some things over there, and it looks like they're riding the ship a little bit over there. So, yeah, I mean, and kudos to those coaches, right? To kind of, they were in a little bit of a tailspin, and to pull themselves out of it, and now lining themselves up where they can still win the district.
Right. Yeah. And like you said with Braddock, still kind of waiting on some injuries, right? Suris is still playing quarterback, but how many teams can say, yeah, we got our guy who took us to the state tournament last year, filling in for us at quarterback right now.
Yeah,
it's a good problem to have.
It's a nice problem to have.
So that's going to be a good one. Number 2 for games of the week this week. All right, well, moving on. Game 3 on the docket this week. Another good one. And I don't think a week has gone by for the last 6 weeks where we haven't mentioned a Liberty matchup.
Yeah.
And we continue that trend. Herndon versus Marshall in a dandy. What do you think about this one, buddy?
I mean, it's big in the fact that right now Herndon is sitting at the 6th seed while Marshall is sitting at the 4th seed. And they are separated by half a point.
Wow.
So, if they win this game, now all of a sudden Herndon's got a chance at a home game.
Yeah.
Marshall's going back on the road. I think the WNL loss kind of affected Marshall a little bit for them. That's a big loss, and Marshall started getting hot at the end of last season, and I know they're hoping they don't go cold at the end of the season, which I don't think they will. But Herndon is slowly trying to make sure they get up to that 4th seed to move up.
Well, I mean, both teams coming off impressive wins. Marshall coming off it's the Wakefield game, right, where they manhandled the Wakefield.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm as big a Marshall supporter as there is. Yeah. I didn't see that one coming.
Right.
And then Herndon shutting out rival McLean.
Yeah.
So both teams coming off 2 huge wins. Right. I think momentum, they're both riding high. And I mean, if you like you, I know you've said this before about some teams, but if you like the running game, this is the game for you.
Right. And also, Herndon, as much as a win kind of propels them to possible home game, a loss
Mm.
because they have other teams that are nipping at their heels right now. A loss can tumble them down, where all of a sudden, they're looking at the 7 or 8 seed right now, and
Wow.
having to play one of the top 2 seeds. And not that I think that they would be afraid of them, but I mean, a loss could really affect as far as their playoff seating. It's going to be tough
Yeah.
because the teams ahead of them will have beaten them in both both Langley and Marshall will be both ahead of them, and WNL. So now they'll have
And
3 teams that beat them that are ahead of them.
right.
That's going to be tough to kind of jump ahead of them.
Yeah. Now I know there are some people out there. Our good friend and your good friend, the DMV's good friend, Chad Ricardo, Mr. DMV. I know he tends to think, and he's not alone in this thought process. It's a 2-horse race on either side, Madison and obviously Hayfield. I think he's a little bit off here. I think WNL's a tough one too. I don't think Madison's the only player in town over there in that region. I will say this: I wouldn't want to be the 8 seed.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to.
it's a tough draw.
WNL and Herndon. WNL and Herndon played a great game though.
Yeah.
Like if I'm Herndon, I don't sweat them.
No.
To quote our good friend Uncle Paulie, I don't sweat you. I don't sweat, but I would sweat.
I just got that.
But I do. I would sweat maybe Madison a little bit,
Yeah.
but I'm not sweating. WNL if I'm Herndon.
It would be a tough matchup for Madison, but I think you want to avoid them early on, right? You want to get your feet wet. I think the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to try to avoid these teams
Right.
as long as possible till you
Right.
have to play them. So to get in that round right there early. Now, like you said, they played them tough, but I don't think anybody wants to be the 8 seed. They don't want to be the 8 seed.
No.
They have to go to 1, and I mean it's just a tough draw.
Yeah, no, for definitely.
Yorktown, right? Yorktown pulled it off last year.
Yorktown did pull it off. Technically, they didn't. They were the 7 seed because of South Lakes. Now, people argued and said South Lakes should have been the 1 seed.
Yeah.
But the way things worked out. That's going to be a good one either way. Like you said, I'm taking the under in that one. Last time I said that it went way over, but two rugged, tough teams, 2 defensive teams, 2 good running teams. You got Lebisher, you got who's our guy over there? Humphreys over in Herndon. Yeah. I mean, playmakers all over the place. I think it's going to be a fun one. So I'll be keeping an eye on that one. Even though we're going to be at Hayfield, we'll be peeking on our phones on that one. Keep an eye on that.
Well, Liberty is just so. I mean, it's right now. It's 5 teams from Liberty making it, and only 3 from the Concord. I'm curious when the last time that happened.
Yeah, and we still don't. It's still up in the air who wins the conference.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a couple of these conferences, actually, and for more than a couple. As a matter of fact, we might get into a little teaser later. Might need to get into who's going to win these conferences. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. All right. Number 4 on the docket here, we got Oakton and Westfield. I like this matchup a lot. What say you?
Yeah, you got that young, exciting Oakton team that doesn't know any better.
Cardiac Cougars.
Right now, they are. It's not our top 10 list, but they are in the PowerPoint rankings. First one at the door, kind of. Anyone home? They're looking to get in. A loss really hurts them though. They lose this game. It's really gonna hurt them as far as what as making the playoffs. Being right there. The big reason is that everybody in the Liberty is doing really well, right? You got all these teams in Liberty who've already won a bunch of games. But you got a young team in there who just got their first. Are they gonna do what AC did? AC got their first win after 14 straight games. What they do? They won the second one.
Yeah.
Oakton gonna do the same thing. Are they gonna got their first? They got the first Concord, and now they're like, you know what? Let's win 2. We won 3 in a row. You know what you call that? Called a winning streak.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think Oakton. I'll say this: we want to put them in the top 10. You and I both talked about it. Almost have them in our top 10. Knocked on the door. We answered it, and they said, "I know the party ain't over yet." And we said, "You think so?" And we slammed the door in their face. All right, that's what happened. Now, House party, right? You picked out. You
No,
picked.
no for rent is Revenge of the Nerds. Remember they're going to look at.
Room for rent. Room for rent.
No, remember they're knocking the door. No for rent. No for rent.
That's right. That's right. I'm here for the room. I'm here for the room. Room for rent. Boom. Now look, but I quoted a house party a minute ago. I thought you'd pick up on that one. But I really think that it's doable. You're looking at Westfield Centerville game last week. This is not some impossible hurdle. This is not your big brother's Westfield team. Okay, Noah Kim's not walking through that door right now.
Yeah.
All right,
they're a little young this year.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they're going to win. These are the cardiac Cougars. Don't count them out.
But and here's the thing for Westfield, you don't want to be in a close game with them in the fourth quarter.
No, you don't.
You do not want to be in a fourth quarter because these guys, they live on the edge.
They do. They're dangerous.
They are dangerous. That's right. That's right, Iceman.
I mean, look, you're 100% right. They are.
They're Maverick. They're Maverick.
They are. They are Maverick. They're Maverick. They're freaking the cardiac Cougars. They're all that stuff. And you're right. I would not want to be in a close game with them in the fourth quarter. So if you're Westfield, put it away. Don't let them hang around.
Yeah.
Don't let them hang around. You've seen what they do.
Ask Fairfax.
Right.
Ask
right.
Fairfax what happened to let them hang around.
Ask West Springfield. Now, obviously, that game went to overtime, double overtime, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was that close to winning that one. I mean, every loss they've had, they've been close to winning it.
Yeah. And Coach Slay has no problem going for 2 for the win.
Yes, you're right.
You're
right.
Zero issues of being a riverboat Slay.
Yeah, good old Riverboat Ron. I remember those days. He's retired now, Riverboat Ron. Jack Del Rio. Black Jack Del Rio.
SC Trojan.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, that's going to be a good one too there, buddy. All right, and we're going to go west for this fifth game, our fifth and final game of the Fab Five. We're going to go west to one that you like a lot here, Colgan and Woodbridge, my friend.
Yeah, so this is a really big game. One, Woodbridge looks like them and Garfield at the end of the season are going to be playing for their district championship unless one of them get knocked off.
Mm.
And the other thing is, I learned this, and I'm curious if anyone can tell me why this is. Their district, Region B, has 3 districts in it. It has 20 teams, and Colgan. There's so many teams, and so many are doing really well. It's really hard to make the playoffs in their district. 8 spaces for 20 teams, as opposed to some of the districts there are 8 spaces for 11 teams. So because there's so many teams in their district, you've got to do really well. And Colgan right now is hanging on by a string. Actually, I think I was telling you that there is a scenario where I think Woodbridge could win the district and still miss the playoffs because there's so many teams in that district. Or in that region.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm looking at it right now. You're right. I mean, Freedom.
It's insane.
Yeah, Mountain View.
I mean,
yeah.
They really need to do something about that. And I don't mean to take up our time when we're talking about,
So a year ago, if you look at it, it was all it was Freedom, Potomac Senior, Gainesville, Mountain View, Forest. So Mountain View and Colonial Forge made it.
Yeah.
It was Mountain View and Colonial Forge. So the 2 teams from that district. Okay, that's funny how that works.
So yeah, I mean it's really tough. And right now Colgan's sitting behind a bunch. Actually, they are right behind Woodbridge right now.
Mm.
They are right behind Woodbridge in the PowerPoint standings. If they can win, they now leapfrog them. They might actually leapfrog another team and have a chance to get in.
Wow. So that's a huge matchup.
Oh, it's a huge matchup because I think if Colgan loses to them, it's going to drop them down low enough where I don't know if they can remake that up, which is awful. I just again, they need to do something about the way they have the playoffs currently right now. I just think you're telling me that you can have an above 500 season and not make the playoffs, where there are other regions where people below 500 because in the 6A one, the one that's down south, just counting it up, I think what I count 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, 8, 9. There are 11 teams in there, so it means only 3 teams in their region don't make the playoffs, which I think
right.
And I'm not saying they're bad football teams. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying the equity, the difficulty of making a 6A playoff as opposed to making 6 playoff is a lot. So
that's interesting. And in the offseason, I think you and I we've talked about this. We're gonna have some shows dedicated to what a couple brainiacs like us might do.
Yeah.
If we were given the reins for a day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that we'll have some fun episodes in the future talking about ways to improve things.
Yeah, absolutely. And so hopefully somebody listens to us. No one will, but
well, it's always. But you know what? You spark conversation that way. You get things kind of talked about, and that's always healthy.
Yeah.
Right. And it doesn't need to be pooping on other things or making fun of things. It could just be saying, "Hey, look, let's all work together and improve things and make things better."
Absolutely, no, I agree.
All right. Well, good stuff, man. And it's like I said, a good 5 this week. I'm excited about them. But it doesn't end there. Doesn't end there, buddy. It just keeps going like the Energizer Bunny. Keeps going and going. Okay, it doesn't stop. We got some good ones on tap, and the best of the rest. Best of the rest. National keeps going at it, buddy. This is a good Annandale, Mount Vernon. What do you like about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good matchup. I think Mount Vernon has some really good firepower, but I mean, this should be an exciting matchup.
There's some people out there that really thought Mount Vernon took it to Hayfield this past week. Now, taking it to Hayfield, that's relative. And they lost 51-0, something like that. So
well, they said this is not us, but we were told by people.
Well, I think it was told us in one of the comments or tweets. So it's public. They wrote it to us.
That Mount Vernon got some really big stops against Hayfield early on.
Yeah, it caused some turnovers. They said.
That's what they said.
Okay, we saw the score of that game and knew it was over by it was over by halftime. So reminiscent of Tyson versus many fighters early in his career. I just thought that we'll see Mount Vernon, but you and I have said all along Mount Vernon's got studs on that team.
Yeah. But the quarterback, the receiver.
Yeah, I think Mount Vernon is the favorite to be, and I don't think I'm speaking anything crazy here. I think they're favored to be second in the national.
Yeah, no, I agree. And right now they're in the playoffs.
Right.
As of right now, they are currently in the playoffs.
I think Mount Vernon's a good football team, so I'm not surprised to hear that
they would be matched up with Lake Braddock.
Oh.
And that one kid had a pretty big game from last year. So
yeah, that's right. So interesting game there. And Annandale's playing some pretty good football right now.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, which actually you and I talked about, almost made the cut for the Fab Five. Chantilly and Centerville.
Yeah, a big game for both, right? I mean, both these teams are trying to work their way into the playoff. Chantilly is right now at the 8th seed. And they're trying to hold on to that spot. Centerville has a chance to kind of leapfrog some people, especially because that'll give them wins of both against Oakton and Chantilly. So that might actually just catapult them over both of them. I'm not sure exactly how the math works, but you would assume that if they have, and that'll put Centerville at one game behind them in the win-loss column, but with a win against them. And now Chantilly still has some tough teams on the horizon. So this is a chance for Centerville to really kind of, the playoffs are kind of starting for them now. They got to start winning some games, but I think if they get this win, they have a really strong chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Centerville, they played really well last week against Westfield.
Yeah,
almost won that game. I think they're starting to kind of figure things out over there. Yeah. I think I'd look out for them, and if they don't make playoffs, I think they're going to be a spoiler.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be a spoiler. They're going to hurt some people here at the end of the season.
I think so too. Yeah,
and this could be the start of it right here. So let's keep an eye on that one. All right, moving on. We've got Edison at Justice. That's another fun one. Edison and Mount Vernon are fighting for that number 2 in national.
Yeah. And right now Edison is the 8th seed right now. So they're trying to the 8th seed. And how do you hold on to that seed? Is you win games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, another game with playoff implications.
But Justice, they're hot, winning their first game last week and recipients of Players of the Week.
Yeah,
their offense.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Justice.
Yeah.
It will be served, buddy. We'll be served cold, as they say. All right. A couple teams that we've seen the last couple weeks actually live and in living color, as you say. Fairfax and Robinson, a good old Patriot battle here.
Yeah, I mean, this has always been a pretty good matchup for years. Fairfax still having visions of a district championship in their head, but they've right now they're tied up with Braddock, although Braddock has the tiebreaker over them, so they've got to keep on winning to try to win a district championship. Along with them trying to catapult themselves into that number three.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I mean Fairfax, that three-headed monster, right? I mean, a running back, that's a lot. Robinson looked good last week against Woodson. But that passing game looked pretty good with Keegan Zalestra catching those balls and play another player of the week.
Yep.
But like you said, I think Moman is really having his moment right now, and I think he's going to keep on running.
Yeah. What a find for them, huh?
Oh man, twins too.
Yeah.
All right. Falls Church and Lewis, the national battles never end, man. These teams are just going at it.
Yeah. Lewis had a pretty tough loss last week. Falls Church, looking to rebound a little bit. Both trying to find their legs, and I think it's a good matchup between the two.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Colgan kind of doing his thing right now. Falls Church beat Annandale. This will give them 2 or 3 wins in the season.
Yeah,
and then they're right in the thick of things.
Yeah, they're right there. I mean, actually, they are currently 8, 9, 10. They're at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of teams right there that 11, 10, 9, 10, 11 spot.
Right. They are currently 1.71 points out of the 8 seed.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So it's a dogfight over there. All right. Next up, we've got another one that we could have entertained a year ago. This would have been one of the games of the year. Madison and South Lakes.
Yeah, South Lakes with the devastating loss to Oakton last week. Madison trying to solidify their spot as the 1 seed. I believe based on their wins, I think they're pretty close to closing this out pretty soon. They're definitely trying to get ready for the playoffs, but trying to keep themselves sharp. I'm sure I'm sure that coaching staff will have them ready to go. South Lakes and their other chance have a chance to be a spoiler, right? I mean, nothing to lose.
Right.
Beware of a team that has nothing to lose.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. South Lakes a year ago, where they were the hunted, right? They were 10-0 and all that stuff, and I know they were upset early in the playoffs, but that was a good team last year. Now it's kind of they can put it in reverse, and they can be the ones spoiling people's their end of the season.
Right.
All right, McLean and the juggernaut known as W&L.
McLean's starting to fall back to the pack a little bit, but they're also another team that currently is within the earshot of making it to the playoffs. W&L's got to keep on rolling, and they've got a big game coming up next week against Langley. But who knows? I mean, if McLean get that win over them, all of a sudden that's going to catapult them up a little bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, a year ago, again, that was a great game. That was for the Liberty essentially. Yeah. A year ago. So I know McLean's not having that great a season compared to what it was a year ago, and W&L's rocking and rolling. So let's see what happens. All right, moving on. We've got AC and West Potomac. That's a good old rivalry game, buddy.
Yeah. Another. I mean, West Potomac right there. AC is above West Potomac. West Potomac can leapfrog AC and possibly even leapfrog Edison, depending on what happens with that Edison game. West Potomac not having the season they envisioned, but they have a we talked about a 3-game stretch this week, right? They have the game today. Friday, Monday, and then Saturday. If they can win those 3 games, all of a sudden now they have I think they might be in that playoff hunt.
Yeah, you nailed it. This is the moment of truth.
Yeah,
this is the moment of truth. I mean, Westpo has not had the season that they envisioned,
right?
But they have got 3 games in a week, and they can turn it around like that, just like that. So, and then AC to flip it is having a season that nobody envisioned,
right?
And they can continue riding that out. They have a chance to put the dagger in West Potomac,
right? Not just that though, but they're 2 total points behind Edison, 152 to 150.
There you go.
They're right there. They beat West Potomac. They'll get the 2 power points from West Potomac.
Yep.
The win. Who knows? Maybe all of a sudden now they're the 9-8 seed right now.
Cinderella story. Cinderella story. We talk about the cardiac Cougars. You got Cinderella AC. And then, it'll be interesting to see Westfield going to go the gauntlet here. They got 3 games in a week.
Yeah.
We'll see how that turns out for them. All right. We've got coming up. Let's go out west, buddy. Let's take a little ride. Let's take a ride on the railroad. Go out west. We're going to go to Hilton. Hilton versus Garfield. Hilton's struggling a little bit right now, buddy. What do you think about this one?
Hilton struggling a little bit right now. Garfield coming off the big win last week against Forest Park.
Wow.
But once again, you have a team that hopefully they're not looking ahead because you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. Kind of a crosstown rivalry right there. I mean, they're right next to each other. I'm sure these kids all know each other. So
now, a lot of them do know each other. They went to middle school with each other.
And you never know, right? You never know what's going to happen. Again, Hilton's a little banged up, but what's the old beware of injured animals, right?
That's right.
Beware of injured animals.
That's right. Yeah. So that should be like you said, when rivalries throw the records out the window.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see what happens there. All right, Freedom Woodbridge at Potomac Senior.
Yeah, Potomac Senior not having the greatest season. With Freedom Woodbridge obviously playing, I think this is their 3rd game, maybe 4th game.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think they're still looking for their first touchdown. So hopefully those kids keep on working hard over there. Hopefully keep their chins up, and Coach Rongo over there doing the best he can with what he's got.
This is a rematch of round 1 of the playoffs last year. Actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
Little factoid for you. You're not the only one who can throw out facts around here, buddy. I got some facts up my sleeves.
Yeah.
All right, we got OP. Got Osborne Park versus Battlefield. Big bad Battlefield that you and I both like. Our good friend, Mr. DMB, Chad Ricardo, not as high on them as we are.
Yeah. OP having a struggling season. Battlefield having a potential state championship football team.
Phenomenal. Having a phenomenal season.
Having a great season. Yeah, I mean, it'd be tough. It's going to be a tough matchup for OP, but you never know, right? That's why you play the game.
That's why Herm Edwards said you play the game. All right. We've got Osborne versus Gainesville. Gainesville coming off the 2-game schneid.
Yeah, and Osborne coming off the 2nd loss of the season for them. Another chance for Osborne to kind of show they belong, right?
That's it. That's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, big game for Osborne in that regard, right? Just hang in there. Yeah. Hang in there. Right? Go the distance with Creed. Okay? All right. We've got Patriot, my number 1, by the way.
Your number 1, yes.
Against Mountain View.
Yeah. Mountain View, I think they're a 500 team, if I'm not mistaken, right now.
Okay.
But I'm sure that it's going to be a tough matchup, but Patriot looking another one, right? Are they looking ahead to that game with Battlefield next week? Oh no, I'm sorry. It's the last week of the season. Battlefield Patriot for what is probably going to be because they both beat Gainesville. That's going to be for the district championship right there.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, that's going to be the fun one. That's the one the world's been waiting for.
Yeah. Right.
That'll be fun as we approach the end of the season.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes our trip out west, buddy, and that kind of wraps the rest of the best and the best of the rest. Wraps it all up in one nice little package. All right, so that concludes best of the rest. Now it gets good, buddy. Now it gets real good. All right? We're going to actually play a little game. We're going to pick, here in week 9, conference winners.
Okay.
Now, some might be decided, but most of them are not.
Yeah.
So we're going to start in the national. We're going to work our way down. All right? National conference. Very controversial question I'm going to ask you here. Who's going to win the national conference?
So, I mean, I think it might be decided already, actually. Hayfield. I mean, it's Hayfield.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to be doing predicting, you know how we do it around here. All right, if we're doing predicting. Greetings, Earthlings. All right. Well, if we're going to predict what's happening, all right, the great Zoloft or whatever my name is, obviously I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Hayfield. That wasn't a tough one. I probably didn't need to wear the hat to predict Hayfield was going to win the national conference. The hat will come in handy as we get with our later picks.
Yes.
So, national, I think we both decided that one. Let me ask you this. We're having fun here, and that's not really, I mean, come on. I mean, we know who's winning the national conference. I'm going to put the hat back on for real this time. Who is going to finish second in national? And that's a legitimate question. Now I got you thinking.
I don't even know who's in second place with him right now. Who is in second place?
Doesn't matter. It's going to be either Mount Vernon or Hayfield, and Mount Vernon or Edison. So you're putting in Mount Vernon to go second?
Yeah, I'm picking Mount Vernon right now.
I agree with you. Okay. All right. So there we go. Patriot. Who wins the Patriot Conference, Coach Mesa?
I'm going to go with Lake Braddock.
Lake Braddock, I said.
Or Fairfax. I think so.
It's a good pick. Nostradamus is going to go with Fairfax.
Fairfax.
I'm going to predict maybe a roadblock, some kind of stumble by Lake Braddock here towards the end. And Fairfax sneaks in as the Patriot winner.
Okay. So, all right.
There we go.
All right.
So Coke has something to do with that. There's my prediction. All right. I got to pick I can't keep the same picks as you, so I got to go something different. All right. Otherwise, it'd be boring. All right. Liberty. Who wins Liberty?
You know what? I'm going to go Langley. Langley's going to upset, or he's going to beat WNL to win the national, to win.
Wow. That's a great.
L and L.
If you would have said WNL, I would have said Langley. But since you said Langley, I am going mind powers. Tell me WNL is going to win the Liberty. WNL stays undefeated and wins the Liberty. That's not Nostradamus' prediction.
Okay.
All right. We go to Concord. Who's going to win Concord?
I think that's decided too. I think based on their win over
I mean, barring a complete just meltdown.
I think it's gonna be.
All right. So Madison might. Who takes second place in Concord? That one might not be as decided, or maybe it is.
I think that is. You know what? You're ready to get your mind blown?
I'll go for it.
I'm gonna say Oakton.
Wow. Well, if that happens, the great Nostradamus says it has to start this Friday. Oakton has to beat Westfield for what you're saying to happen.
I'm saying it happens.
I mean, wow. You're stealing all Nostradamus' thunder. So I will go with Westfield and the number 2 spot, because I would have said Oakton if had you not. Okay. So Westfield will take the number 2 spot. All right. We keep going. We don't stop.
We're going to differ on these next two.
We're going to go out west.
I guarantee we're going to differ on these next two because I already know where you're going and I know where I'm going.
All right, let's start small, work our way up. Let's start in Cardinal. All right, we'll start in Cardinal. Who's going to win the Cardinal District?
Garfield.
Now, I might have said Garfield. But I'm going to say Woodbridge.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go with Woodbridge.
I'm going to say Woodbridge. You're the Woodbridge guy. They gave you ice cream and all that stuff. You're a big fan of Woodbridge. I mean, come on. Show some gratitude to people who took care of you when you went to their stadium.
I've been with Garfield all year.
Yeah, you've been a Garfield guy.
Garfield all year.
Yeah, I'm going to go Woodbridge. I think Woodbridge is, like I said, that they are kind of filling that gap that opened up when Freedom left.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Woodbridge in that one. All right. And the last time, this is where it gets real good. All right. Winner of Cedar Run is.
Oh, come on. I mean, again, we're gonna differ on this. I already know it's Battlefield.
Nostradamus is going to say Patriot.
Yeah, Patriots are #1 team.
They are the #1 team. And I think Patriot is going to show you. Do you have a score of that game from a year ago?
I do. Actually, I just looked up. Awesome. I just had it. You know what, though? People from Battlefield, comment on our stuff. They like our stuff. You ever hear anyone from Patriot ever say anything to us?
Okay, Patriot, if you're out there, please respond to the stuff and show gratitude the way Battlefield people have shown gratitude. Making me look bad over here. And now we're going back to the
Patriots last year. Ooh, they played each other back-to-back nights or back-to-back games. First round of the playoffs and in the last game of the season and first round of the playoffs.
All right, give it to us. Who won the last game of the regular season?
The last game of the season, which they played last year, Battlefield won 26-23.
Wow, what a good game.
What a good game. I mean, they got some good football going on over there, man. They got some
And they rematched.
the rematch, and that's really interesting is the fact that was a close game. It looked like this game was also close, but but usually if you lose a close game, usually the other team comes back and gets you, but did not. Battlefield won 26-6.
Wow, well, tough game. Well, Patriot, you got a supporter in me. You got a believer in the great Nostradamus. I will take Patriot to win.
Patriot
See the run. So that is my Nostradamus predictions for this. So there you go. Take it to the bank. You can take it to your MGM Monopoly money. That is who will be winning the conferences in 2024. All right? We feel confident about that. And if we're wrong, write your congressman. Tell him. Well, Coach, that's it. That's a wrap for week 9.
Yeah. So,
wow.
So.
Yeah, nothing finer than finishing week 9.
2 more seasons, two more weeks left of football after this. 2 more regular season football.
And we're going to get to the bottom of these conferences. We're going to know a lot more. And at this time next week, we're going to have the answers to these questions. We'll know, can Oakton, steal that second place position, right? Can Fairfax come back and sneak into win the Patriot? We're gonna have one step closer to the answers of all these questions in 1 week. It's like an old Batman show.
The skies will be a lot clearer, right? You'll be able to tell,
yes,
right, what it is.
Right. Tune in.
Yeah.
Next bat time, next back channel, right?
Yeah.
That's it. And by the way, if anyone who's listening, I got a couple texts about this. And I texted you actually, but we'll make it clear to the audience. Too close for comfort, Mr. Rush.
Did you text us about this?
I texted you. I think I did.
You did. You texted me, but I didn't realize other people texted you about it.
Got a couple texts about it. The great John Kenny, Mr. Kenny from Madison.
Oh, okay.
Wrote me and said, I don't think a lot of the audience was alive to watch Too Close for Comfort.
Well, if you can find it streaming, you got to watch it. You got to watch it.
So always appreciate it's old guy television, and Mr. Kenny, as a fellow old guy like us, I'm sure he watched plenty of fair share of Love Boat and Too Close for Comfort.
Back when TV shows had theme songs.
I'm a big theme song guy. The Fall Guy theme song, and I think Lee Majors actually sung it in real life, but a lot of people don't know that. Lee Majors sung that song. WKRP in Cincinnati theme song was a great theme song too.
WKRP. We're getting close to Thanksgiving season, and they may have the greatest Thanksgiving show of all time.
That is true.
The turkey drop.
That is true. That's a great episode. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
When was the last time there was appointment TV anymore, where like you had to?
Sopranos.
Yeah.
Sunday nights. To me, anyways.
Yeah.
Sopranos Sunday nights. You had to watch it.
Elementary school, Friday nights. A-Team and Knight Rider.
Oh, yeah, it's good stuff.
A-Team and Knight Rider. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Ordering Domino's pizza, getting a 2-liter of Coke, watching A-Team and Knight Rider.
Well, another good one, buddy.
Another good
one. I'm going to go play some Nintendo right now, buddy. A little Super Mario Brothers. So next time, we'll be breaking these down, man, all over again.
Yep. And don't forget, if you're listening, make sure you subscribe. Subscribe.
There's no way anyone's listening to it. And God bless you if you actually heard the whole talk about the Silver Age of television. You're
if you're listening right now, comment what was your favorite TV shows from the 80s.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one. Favorite 80s show.
Yeah.
That's it. Good one.
Usually we'll get one person.
One person. Bruin's mom's listening, darn it. She loves this stuff. All right.
We love her. It's probably our only female listener that we have.
That's right. All right. From Coach Dash and Coach Mesa, we'll see you guys next time on All Hitches.
See ya.